So this video we're doing 10.2, so we're going to be talking about the areas of our trapezoids and areas of kites. Okay, so a trapezoid, remember, has the two bases and the two legs, and a isosceles trapezoid has the two congruent legs, so both of these would be congruent. Okay, and then we also have those base angles. So area of a trapezoid is going to be half times the height, all times the base 1 plus the base 2. So you're going to add the bases together and multiply it times the height and 0.5 or 1/2. Okay, and you can see that the height is going to be in here. It's going to create that right angle. Here's my one base and here is my other base of my trapezoid. Okay, so what is the approximate area of Nevada? So I take my area equals 1/2 times my height. So here is my height of my object because that's what's going to create the right angle. So 309 times my base 1. So we could say this is base 1 and this is base 2 because those are my two bases of my trapezoid. So 205 plus 511. So remember to add those. So I'm going to add 205 plus 511. So A equals 1.5 times 309 times 716. I'm going to multiply all those together. So my area equals 110,622 miles squared. Okay, remember to have the little squared when you are labeling area. Okay, what is the area of the trapezoid of PQRS? So I'm going to do, A equals 1.5 times my height times my base 1 plus my base 2. So I know this is my base 1, this is my base 2. So A equals 1.5 times my height, and then my 5 plus 7. Okay, but I don't know what my height is. I need to figure out what my height is. So if I look and I create a triangle out of this, okay, I now have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I need to figure out what one of those side lengths are so I can figure out what my 30, 60, 90 triangle is. Okay, so if this whole thing is 7, but this portion is 5, so this portion is 5, if I take 7 minus 5, I should get this to be 2. So now my 30, 60, 90 triangle, this is 2. So if I go back to my reference triangle, the equation that sits across from 60 is x square root 3. My equation that sits across from 30 is x. So right now my x equals 2. So to find out what my height is, I'm going to plop that 2 in for that x. So I'm going to get 2 square root of 3. So now my height represents 2 square root of 3. I'm going to erase all this so that I can replace my height here with 2 square root of 3. So I'm going to type all of that in my calculator. So 0.5 times 2 square root of 3 times my 5 plus 7. So 5 plus 7 here is 12. So my A is going to equal 20.7846 meters squared. Okay, a kite has a quadrilateral with two pairs of congruent consecutive sides. Okay, we also create those perpendicular lines when we have kites from our diagonal, so we're going to have some right angles within my kites. And remember, consecutive means sits next to, so my consecutive sides here and my consecutive sides here are congruent. Okay, a rhombus is an equilateral parallelogram, so rhombus means all sides are congruent. And remember, we create perpendicular lines from the diagonals of that, so we create right angles through that. And also, the diagonals bisect each other, which means these two are congruent and those are congruent. Okay, area of a kite, rhombus, or square. Okay, so I'm going to do half times my diameter 1 times my diameter 2. So when I say diameter, I mean that full length. So for a rhombus, I'm going to take 1/2 times this full length times this full length. Okay, for a kite, I'm going to do 1/2 times this full length times this full length. Okay, so area equals 1.5 times diameter 1 times diameter 2. So I'm going to get A equals 1.5 So I want to know this full length, so I'm going to have to do 2 plus 5 to get that full length, so 7. And then I need this full length, so I'm going to take this 3 plus this 3 to get that entire length to be 6, so times 6. So I'm going to do 0.5 times 7 times 6, or 1/2 times 7 times 6. So my area for this is going to be 21 meters squared. Okay, my next one, we said that for a rhombus, these diagonals are congruent and these are congruent. So that means if this is 3, then this is also 3. If this is 5, then this is also 5. So A equals 1.5 times my diameter 1, so let's do our 3's. So I need that full length, so 3 plus 3 is 6. And then I need this full length, so 5 plus 5 is going to get me 10. So 0.5 times 6 times 10. The area of this is going to be 30 feet squared. Find the area of the kite. Okay, so for this, we know this is a 45, 45, 90, so I need to find certain lengths here. I need to figure out what this length is and what this length is. So to find those, and I need to find this one actually, so to find those, let's break down our triangle. So this is 9 square root of 2, and this is 45, so 45 degrees. Sorry, it's hard to write in that. So that's a 45-degree angle. So in our 45-degree triangles, this represents x, this represents x, this represents x squared of 2. So x right now is being replaced by 9, so x equals 9. So that means this side is 9 and this side is 9. So I know that this is 9 and this is 9. Well, these should be congruent, so this is also 9. So my area is going to be 1.5 times my 1 diameter, so this one, so we got 9 plus 6 to get 15. And then we have to do my full length of my other diameter, so we got 9 plus 9 to get 18. So A equals 0.5 times 15 times 18. We got 135 meters squared as my answer.